So we're going to start laying down in Advasana this morning, but we'll kick off with the Mahamrityunjaya mantra, 3 rounds as we usually would, for purification and to help purify the energy around you as well as within you. I'm aware that it is Anzac Day here in New Zealand this morning, so I'm going to just be respectfully silent for the next minute as everybody just makes their way to seated or lying. And now moving into the Mahamrityunjaya mantra. Om Trayambakam Jamahe Sugadanam Pushtivardhanam Uvayukamuva Bandhanat Mrityo Mukshiyam Amrita. Om Trayambakam Jamahe Sugadanam Pushtivardhanam Uvayukamuva Bandhanat Mrityo Mukshiyam Amrita. Om Trayambakam Jamahe Sugadanam Pushtivardhanam Urvayukamuva Bandhanat Mrityo Mukshiyam Amrita. Swaha. Remaining in silence for the next moment with the eyes closed, moving inwards immediately into the subtle or energetic body, and direct your awareness to your frequency, the vibration you're emitting. Then transfer your awareness to the physical body. Start to bring gentle movement back to the physical body as you direct your exhalation over the outside edges of the body. And then release your seated asana if you're seated and come to lay in Advasana, with the arms stretched out along the floor or the mat in front of you. Come safely. Lowering yourself all the way down onto the floor. And once you're down, I'm going to ask that you move into 4 full body stretches. So engaging with the navel, contract the navel, lock in the abdominal muscles. Inhale, lengthen the body out in front of you. You can choose to lift a little off the floor if you like. Bring a full engagement and contraction of all the muscles, tendons and ligaments of the body, and then exhale and release the contraction and relax into the floor. And simply repeat this 3 more times. Full engagement. You're trying to lengthen as well as lift a little, extend, exhale and release. Looking through your final extension. And I'm going to ask that you slide the arms back down by the sides, turning the palms towards the sky, and we'll move into a little gentle Ardha Shalabhasana, which is a little gentle flowing locust pose. And once again, first thing in the morning, and for many of you not having done any physical exercise yet this morning, go gently to begin with. The chin or the forehead can start on the floor. We contract the navel, inhale, lift, arms and legs off the body, chest off the body, and the gaze can be to the eyebrow center or eyes closed out in front of you, whichever feels good today. And exhale, relax. Inhale, you'll lift. Exhale, soften. So I'm going to ask you to do this another 4 times in your own time. Inhale, lift into Ardha Shalabhasana, contracting through the navel, full awareness and strength coming from Manipura chakra behind the navel and the spine as you inhale, contract and lift. Pause, Antakombaka, a little inner breath retention on your lift. And then release the contraction, exhale and relax back to the mat. So a total of 6. And as you flow through, I'm going to then give you the option to move into 1 more held half locust pose, where you will inhale, contract, lift the body, hold, and continue to breathe for a count that feels comfortable for you today, up to 3, 6, 9 inhalations and exhalations. Full awareness through the quadriceps and the abdominal muscles, also through the glutes, holding you up. Draw the shoulders back, fingers moving towards the heels as you hold. And before you release fully, a little inhalation, extend a little further, and then it will be a full exhalation, softening onto the mat. Leaving the arms down by the sides just for the next moment, and spend 2 breaths after you've finished, drawing the energy in through Manipura at the spine, so in through the spine behind the navel, light the fire, or move into the heat that this energetic sphere or center creates here in this abdominal area. Feel the heat start to move simultaneously up the body and down the body. Then placing now the splayed fingers underneath the shoulders and the fronts of the feet on the floor. You can have a little distance between the feet or more of a distance depending on how your lumbar spine is feeling this morning. Before we start to come up, tuck the toes under once you're in position and lengthen the body a little along the mat, and then resettle the fronts of the feet to the floor. As you next inhale, push into the palms, come up, not into full cobra, 3/4 maybe. Look over the right shoulder towards the right heel. Inhale back to center. Lift the head a little. Exhale, turn looking over the left shoulder to the left heel. Inhale back to center and lower the forehead to the floor. Be aware of the pubic bone. Be aware of the pubic bone touching the mat, and on a spiritual level, transfer awareness between the pubic bone and the tailbone at Svadhisthana. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Looking over as you exhale to the right foot. Inhale to the center, extend, loosen the shoulders. Exhale to the left heel, left shoulder. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, release the forehead to the floor and get ready to move into another couple of rounds. Push into the palms, lengthen, inhale, lift, exhale over the right shoulder, twisting the body a little as the head looks for the heel or the eyes look for the heel. Inhale back to the center, extend the spine a little, including the cervical spine, and then exhale, looking over the opposite shoulder. And I'm going to ask you to do one more round. And then we're going to come up into Bhujangasana, the cobra. Now the spine is nice and warmed up, and the belly, the spine from the tailbone to where the spine ends in between the ears at Agnya. I'm going to ask as we inhale up, and we're just going to move into holding. Please just come up as much as feels good for you today. If you only prefer to stay in the half cobra, please feel free to do so. When you come up and the awareness transfers to Bhumadhya at the eyebrow center as you lock in Shambhavi Mudra. Even though the gaze is directed to the eyebrow center, please keep your full awareness at Svadhisthana at the tailbone. Once again, tuck the toes under, lengthen the body a little bit. Replace the fronts of the feet back on the floor. Soft through the lower body, pubic bone attached to the floor. Inhale, lengthen, and start to lift as you curve back from the tailbone, creating the C curve or moon to the spine. If the neck feels fine this morning, then lift the head all the way up and back as you draw the eyes to Bhumadhya, locking in your Shambhavi Mudra. The insides of the elbows are facing each other. The sacrum is soft and spacious. The shoulders are relaxed. And as you curve back, your awareness travels around the Svadhisthana chakra, and your gaze is to Bhumadhya, and you're holding. Soft through the belly, soften in, arching back, and hold. Taking another couple of breaths here in Bhujangasana. And when you're ready, an inhalation, softening through from the pubic bone, arch a little further, then exhale, press into the palms of the hands and slowly lower the forehead all the way back down to the mat. Press into the palms, tuck the elbows into the sides, push up onto the knees and float all the way back. Forehead to the floor, buttocks to the heels in extended child, Shashankasana pose. Once you're in, move the hands out to the sides and feel into the softening through the upper back, through the traps area in between the scapula. Feel the shoulder blades soften into the back, dropping down towards the hips. On the next inhale, slide the hands back, coming up, arching into a camel, tuck the toes, angry cat or scared cat, and come all the way up to Parvatasana, to Mera Asana, downward facing dog. High through the tailbone and hold. We're going to hold here for several breaths. Lock in your Ujjayi breath, restrict the glottis slightly, thicken through the walls of the throat. Feel the breath entering and leaving the body physically at the pit of the throat, activating Vishuddhi. Hold and settle in. Know as we're holding, if you're at home and you need to drop down to your knees at any stage to rest, please feel free to do this. We're holding out downward facing dog. I'm going to ask if it's possible that you hold this for another perhaps 5 deep inhalations and exhalations before we start to move. Have a little feel into the alignment, the hands splayed wide, pressing down through the center of the palm. Push the mat away from you, don't load into the wrist. Widen or soften through the triangle between the shoulder blades as you turn the armpits in towards yourself and away from your neighbor. Lengthen through the tailbone. Press back through the backs of the thighs and the calves. Weight evenly distributed between the left and the right, and we're going to start to move. I'm going to ask that you gently start to walk the feet up towards the hands. Feel free to bend the knees if you need to do this, as the hands come all the way up towards the feet. Take hold of the ankles and rest the belly on the thighs for a moment and bring the nose into the knees. Elbows moving out to the sides. And then replace the hands on either side of the feet. Transfer some body weight onto the right foot by lifting the left foot a little off the ground, so only the toes remain on the floor. And then take the left foot back behind you, lifting the left foot up to the ceiling and drawing the nose in towards the knee of the right foot that is grounded. Draw all the way down.
Nose touching the knee if possible. Hands on either side of the foot. Or if this just feels too unbalanced, then you can place your hands a little further forward to help in the lift. Otherwise, hands all the way back by the feet. And you could try taking one hand off the floor and holding on to the ankle as you extend. Toe pointing to the ceiling. Nose into the knee. And if you would like to try at home, having a little play with taking the other hand off the floor and both hands holding onto the ankle, you can have a little play. You're at home, if you have a little wobble, and as long as you don't hurt yourself, it's all good to have a little wobble. Holding on with both hands. And then when you're ready, lowering the foot all the way down to the ground again. And we're going to transfer and change sides. Before we do, lower the buttocks all the way to the heels. A deep wrap in this little squat. Wrap the arms around the knees and bring the chin into between the knees. Draw the navel in towards the spine. Rest for a moment. Release the hands back on either side of the feet and transfer the body weight a little to the left, coming up onto the right toes. And then start to lift the right foot all the way up towards the sky, the ceiling, as you draw the nose into the knee. Hold the balance. When you're feeling balanced, if you'd like to take one hand off the floor, drawing down. Extend. And if you want to have a go taking both hands off the floor and holding onto the foot, you can do this also. And hold. And when you're ready, slowly bringing the right foot all the way down so it rejoins the left foot. Take hold of the ankles, draw down, nose into the knees, and stand holding the deep forward bend, belly pressing into the side, deep inhalations and exhalations. The knees can be bent. And from here, I'm going to ask you to place the hands back on the floor in front of the feet. Step one foot back. Find yourself in a deep lunge. Lower the hip, arch up, open through the heart. Push off the other foot, joins the back foot. Float forward. Find yourself in Sanpalasana, the plank pose. If you find that this is too hard on the wrists, then you can come down onto the elbows and interlace the fingers if you would prefer. If you're all good with the wrists, that's fine too. So the shoulders are stacked over the wrists and the hands are wide, or the fingers are wide. Push back into the heels. Contract through the navel. The spine is in a beautiful long line from the tailbone to where the spine ends and out through the crown of the head. Push back into the heels a little, lengthen through the back of the legs. Try not to sag through the hips or pop the buttocks up, and soften the shoulder blades down the back. Holding for another few breaths if that feels possible. If not, know that you can rest. I'm going to ask that you either push back into child to rest or push up into mountain. Resting in downward dog after Santalasana is always usually very restorative and nourishing. Deep inhalations and exhalations. And then we're just going to float forward, place the hands further forward once more, float forward, tuck in the elbows and lower to just off the floor. Push through into a little cobra once again. And then exhale the forehead back down to the floor, finding yourself in Advasana, resting for just a few moments. So awareness comes back to Manipura chakra once again. Draw the awareness in through the spine just behind the navel. This is the trigger point of this chakra. And be aware of that simultaneous warmth that moves up the body and down the body. So we're going to move into a little Dhanurasana, the bow pose. So from here, I'm going to ask that we'll just do a little Savasana before we do this. One more little warm-up stretch for the spine. So if you bring your hands behind the tailbone, interlace your fingers. Fronts of the feet on the mat. Chin on the floor. And then as you next inhale, contract, lift the upper body and the hands travel down behind you towards the heels. Exhale, release. So I'm going to ask you to do this twice more. You can direct the gaze up to Brahmadya or have the eyes closed or the gaze just out in front of you, whichever feels comfortable. And I'm going to ask you to let this go now. So finding yourself back in Advasana, bending at the knees and bringing the heels into the buttocks and reaching the hands back behind you, taking hold of either the feet or the ankles. So we'll start with a few flowing. As you inhale, and just start gentle and move in deeper into the pose. As you inhale, lift the legs and the chest off the mat, belly on the floor, draw the knees together, exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Lift the gaze and to the eyebrow center. Exhale, release. And I'm going to ask you to flow with this perhaps twice more. Feel into the deep curve and bend through the spine. And then we'll hold one more. And please feel free to move deeply in as you hold, perhaps creating the rocking effect if this feels good, if you like to rock back and forward, or you can even rock from side to side.
And then when it's time to release, I'm going to give you two options. One that you push back into child's pose and counter the bend to the spine and just hold there. Or the second option is that you push back into child for 3 or 4 breaths and then move on from child up to downward facing dog for another 3 or 4 breaths. Just feel into what feels good for you today with your back. Another couple of breaths here in recovery. And then I'm going to ask you, if you're in child, I'm going to ask you to come up to mountain. If you're in mountain, I'm going to ask you to hold just another couple of inhalations and exhalations. And then we're going to walk the hands and the feet all the way up to the tops of the mats. Hands on either side of the feet, soften through the soles of the feet, push the floor away from you and gently start to rise. Finding yourself standing at the top of your mat, the hands in the Kriya. A little gentle pressure on the sternum at Anahata. Ground down as you settle the body into standing well. Length through the spine. The shoulders are soft. Tailbone extended towards the floor. Navel contracted. Just for a moment, bring the sun in behind the sternum. So the Hridaya Kasha, the heart space, is the blue sky. And in the center, at Anahata, the sun shines within this blue sky. And now the entire heart space contains this warm, revitalizing energy. And we'll start to move. Casting the eyes out along the floor in front of you, soft through the knees. As you inhale, drop the hands down by the sides, lift them all the way up, move the hips forward, open through the heart. Exhale, float all the way down. Hands on either side of the feet as you bring the nose in towards the knees. And then the next inhale is as you step back with the left leg, drop the knee to the floor or towards the floor and lift up through the heart. Push off the front foot joins the back foot, push all the breath out, hold the breath out, knees, chest and chin. Bhujangasana, tuck the toes under, contract the navel, push back. Sumira Asana, downward dog. Inhale, step forward with the right foot lightly if you can. Push off the back foot joins the front foot. Draw down, full forward fold. Press into the soles of the feet, contract. Navel, Mula Bandha, lift. Push the hips forward, open through the heart. Hands to prayer. Now done. Inhale. Exhale. Stepping back with the right leg this time. Drop the hip, lift up through the heart. Push off the front foot joins the back foot. Hold the breath out. Knees, chest and chin. Cobra. Mountain. And stepping forward lightly with the left leg.
Push up the back foot joins the front foot, draw down. Soft through the knees, strong through the soles of the feet, contract through the navel as you rise to the sky. Push the hips forward a little, open through the heart. Hands to prayer. We'll move into the next round. Inhale. Exhale. Left leg, deep lunge back. Right. Knees, chest and chin. Cobra. Tuck the toes under, push back. Mountain. Stepping forward lightly with the right foot. Push up the back foot joins the front foot, draw down. Bend through the knees, soles of the feet steady, and rise. Hands to prayer. Inhale. Exhale. Right leg, deep lunge, lift through the heart, eyes to the eyebrow center. Push off the front foot joins the back foot, high mountain. Hold the breath out. 8-point pose. Cobra. Back to mountain or downward dog. Step lightly with the left foot. Push off. Draw down. Inhale, contract and lift. Exhale, hands to prayer. And we're going to keep on going. Inhale. Exhale, falling forward. Left leg, deep lunge, open through the heart. Exhale, mountain. 8-point pose. Cobra. Mountain. Stepping forward with the right leg. Left leg. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Stepping all the way back with the right. Left. Knees, chest and chin. Cobra. Mountain. Stepping all the way forward. Pushing off. Fold in. Ground down. Rise. Hands to prayer. And we're going to keep on going. I'm going to ask you to keep on going in your own time. We'll do another 3 rounds, just making a total of 6 rounds today. If you feel like you need to rest at any time, please feel free to rest. I'll call another round at home, or if you're following me on Instagram with this class, I'll call another round with the hands in prayer, lengthen through the body. Inhale, extend through to the sky, open through the heart and the rib cage. Exhale, pivot forward from the hips, nose to the knees are soft. Step all the way back, soften. Lower the hip, lift the heart. Push off the front foot joins the back foot, breathe out. Drop to the knees, lower the chest and chin, push up into the cobra. Contract the navel, push back into the mountain. Step all the way forward, deep lunge. Push off the back foot joins the front foot, draw down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale. Exhale, pivot forward. Stepping all the way back, lower the hips with the heart. Push off now, mountain, knees, chest and chin. Cobra. Back to mountain or downward dog, and you're stepping forward with the left foot lightly to end the round. Draw down. Inhale, rise, open. Hands to prayer. One more time. Inhale.
Exhale, fall forward. Nose into the knees. Stepping back with the left leg. The right leg follows. Hold the breath out as you drop knees, chest and chin, and pushing up into Cobra. When you're ready, tuck the toes under, push all the way back to mountain. The right leg will straight forward to finish the round. Then the left, draw down, press into the soles of the feet. If you know Mula Bandha, contract, inhale and rise. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, we'll finish one more, just finish this side. Fall forward, nose to the knees are soft, stepping all the way back with the right leg, then to mountain. Ashtanga Namaskara, 8-point pose into Bhujangasana. Tuck the toes under, push back, downward dog, and when you're ready, striding forward with the left leg, pause as you extend up into your equestrian pose, push off the back foot joins the front foot, draw down, press into the soles of the feet, contract, inhale and rise, push the hips forward, open through the heart, hands to prayer and pause. So pausing here, and bring your awareness back into the Hridaya Kasha, the heart space. Feel into the subtle energy and change within the space after 6 rounds of Surya Namaskar. Stay fully focused in this space, until the heart rate has completely settled back to its usual steady rhythm. And then when the heart rate is completely settled, I'm going to ask you to drop down into Shavasana. We have time to give a little nourishment to the abdominal area and the muscles here before we end in balance today. So please drop down into Shavasana. Take a full in breath and out breath. And we're going to we'll do a little Supta Pawan Muktasana, but we'll do the dance of the leg version. So if you haven't done this before, I will talk you through it. So we're going to move reasonably swiftly through the sides, and feel free to take a little bit more time in the double leg, but just so that we can fit everything in. So inhale and exhale the arms back alongside the ears. Take a full body stretch. I think we'll do this on the one breath. So it will mean that you have to retain the breath for a period of time. If you're at home and you haven't done this before, then just feel free to breathe spontaneously, naturally, in and out through the nose. On the next inhale, sweep the arms all the way up to extended prayer as the right leg lifts up towards the ceiling, and drop the prayer down towards the sternum, all on the inhale. As you hold the breath in now, flex the foot and lift the upper body off the floor, and the hands come up towards the feet. They may touch the feet. And then exhale, flex the foot, the arms travel back down simultaneously, heel and hands to the floor. And we'll repeat to the other side. Inhale, extended prayer all the way up to the 90 degrees, hands lower to the sternum. Hold the breath under the Kumbhaka as you reach up, moving the upper body off the floor, contract the navel towards the spine, engaging with the abdominal muscles. Hold. And then when it's time to exhale, exhale, slowly, simultaneously, heel and hands to the floor. And we'll move to the original side. Inhale. Hold. Lift. Exhale. Flex the foot. Lower the heel and the hands. Inhale, extend. Lower the hands. Hold the inhalation as you now lift. Hands towards the feet. Feet flex back towards the head. Contract the navel all the way back to the spine. And then when you need to exhale, exhale and lower. I'll call one more round. Inhale, extend. Lower the hands. Hold the breath in. Lift the head and shoulders off the floor. Reach for the toes. Hold. And when you need to exhale, slowly release. Inhale, extend. Hold. Exhale, release. And I'm going to ask that you do this just twice more to each side. Just twice more. And when you finish, we're going to do exactly the same thing with both legs. We'll just do you can do 6 to 10 of this. So this is exactly the same, but with both legs. If you feel abdominally that it will compromise your back in any way, please continue moving from side to side. Otherwise, on the inhalation, we lift the arms and the legs to the 90-degree angle. We lower the hands down to the sternum. Hold the breath in, flex the feet, lift the hands towards the middle of both feet. Keep the navel contracted, sacrum soft. When you need to exhale, the flex, feet, heels, and hands return softly to the floor. Inhale, extend. Hold the breath in, Anta Kumbhaka. Draw the navel back to the spine. When you're ready to exhale, release. Inhale, contract and extend. Exhale, release. Inhale, hold the breath in as you extend. Exhale. And continuing on with up to perhaps 3 to 6 more. Feet flexed. What you want to do is, as you hold the breath in and you lift the upper body off the floor, the hands are aiming to touch the feet if you can. So you really want the upper body extended off the floor in full engagement with the navel. And then you'll pause. And then the feet being flexed, heels first, straight legs if you can, down to the floor. So the arms and the legs remain straight and extended throughout if possible. We have time for just a few more. And when you finish at home, and there's no hurry, but when you have finished, take a few recovery breaths with your awareness at the Manipura chakra behind the navel as you inhale and feel into the heat within this space. I'm going to ask you to transfer the awareness from Manipura to Anahata to Vishuddhi. So that is navel, sternum, pit of the throat. And then Vishuddhi, Anahata, Manipura. Just for a few recovery breaths. So the awareness, if you would like to work with color, would go yellow, blue, mauve, mauve, blue, yellow. One more breath here, and we're going to come to standing. And we'll finish our asanas, the asana part of today's class, with a couple of standing asanas. We'll finish with Asana. So when you're ready, I'm going to ask that you release your Shavasana and come all the way up to standing. Extend fully through the spine. If you need to, maybe it's best that feet together. We'll take one full body stretch. Inhale, arms all the way up above the head. Link the wrists, push the wrists all the way through until you feel a full stretch through the back. Lengthening of the spine. Contract the navel, exhale, release. So we'll just do two little balances. So transferring the body weight now into the right leg, lifting the left leg, bending through the knee of the left leg. We'll just do this for a few breaths. Ground down, contract the navel, cast the gaze out to your steady point. So choose your steady point. And then when you're ready, lift the left leg and take the foot or the heel over towards the right hip. Push the foot into the hip and the thigh. Bring the hands into prayer and hold steady. So you can extend if you want, arms above the head, but keep looking at your balance point. Expand, open through the heart, soft through the hips. The knee isn't locked in place, although the leg is straight, the knee is soft. Draw up through the quadricep muscles to hold you steady. Beautiful. And hold. Just a couple more breaths. Extend through the spine, open through the heart. When it's time to release, you can take hold of the foot. And before you put the foot on the floor, draw the knee into the chest, hug it in nice and tight, and then release the foot to the floor. The foot that was your balanced foot, lift it up, give the foot a few little rotations at the ankle and flexions. In case there's any compression or energy compressed within there. And then transfer the weight and focus down through the left side of the body. Extend, and when you're ready, lift the right foot. Place the heel or the foot right up, if possible, in towards the left hip. Extend and open through the hips and the heart. And when you're ready and you've found your balance point, Move into steady, balanced asana. And if you want to extend arms above the head, feel free to do so. So feel an opening at the hip, soft through the knee, wide through the chest and the heart, and hold. Well done. Keep your gaze steady. Couple more breaths and then we'll release this and move into our final pose. Once again, when you're releasing, make sure that you release the foot, draw the knee in towards the chest, making sure that the hip is realigned, and then softly return the foot to the floor. Lift the left, a few little rotations and then flexions here. And then placing the left foot back on the floor, we're going to bend the right knee, take hold of the ankle or the foot behind you. Once again, look out in front or along the floor and find your balance, your steady point. And when you're ready, inhale the left arm up alongside the ear, lengthen the body. And then as you start to exhale, float forward, hands in chin mudra if possible, and lift the back leg up behind you. Extend and hold. So if you're at home, have a focus on both hips being in line or neutral to the floor. So try not to open up too wide, twisting to the side, but have the hips facing through to the floor. Arch through the back, extend. Try not to tip too far forward, but draw the leg up behind you so that the thigh is in parallel to the floor if possible, and hold. Have a little play. You're at home, so you can play around. It doesn't matter if you wobble around a bit. Have a little play, find that steady pose. And if you're at home and you want to move to the wall, often you can come to a wall, and that can help you get much more of a stretch first, pulling the foot up, and then you can push off, step away from the wall, and feel the difference then in the pose. But draw the leg up. It should be thighs facing down if possible to the floor. It's like a one-legged basket almost. So have a play with that, and then you'll know that you come back and release your foot, and then move, keeping all things equal, to the other side. Extend first, find your steady point, lift your arm, and when you're ready, and remember to straighten up through the hips and hold. That's it. Pull the leg up behind, thigh to the floor. One more go. Feel that deep arch and bend to the spine. And then release the foot back. Give your ankle a few little rotations. And prepare to come to a seated asana for pranayama. So make sure that you release any compression in the ankle, and then come to sit for pranayama and Nidra vidya. So I'm going to ask that you settle the body. And I'm not going to talk while I settle the body because I'm going to do a little singing bowl. So I know everybody that's left at home with me now is well used to my instructions on how to settle the body, and I'm going to ask that you do that now. I'm going to start with a lower chakra and end with a higher one. So you settle the body. Full awareness and breath awareness at Muladhara and Swadhisthana. Transferring awareness back and forth between these two energetic spaces. Muladhara, neck of the cervix, Swadhisthana, the tailbone. Inhale, Muladhara, Swadhisthana. Exhale, Swadhisthana, Muladhara. Body is settled, the eyes are closed, and your full breath awareness is transferring between Muladhara, crimson red sphere, to Swadhisthana at the tailbone, and orange sphere. Move back and forward between these two psychic centers. Be aware at Muladhara of the grounding energy. Settling into the knowledge and certainty of feeling grounded within your own being, feeling grounded physically, emotionally, at home within your highest self. And then at Swadhisthana, be aware of the seed of your manifestation, seed of your heart's desire starts to grow here. You feel a release of anything that isn't fertilizing to the seed. Be aware of this. Now I'm going to ask you to move into the Ujjayi breath. Now that you've brought those deep rooted knowledge and feelings into these psychic centers, I'm going to ask that as you breathe with your psychic breath, that you repeat the mantra of each of these chakras. As you start to inhale at Muladhara, you will repeat the mantra Lam. And as you exhale from Swadhisthana back to Muladhara, you will repeat the mantra Vam. Lam on the inhale, Vam on the exhale. Ujjayi breath, Lam and Vam. And then letting go of this after the next exhalation. I'm going to ask that you transfer your awareness up to Agnya, top of the spine. Transfer your awareness up to Agnya, top of the spine. Focus all your concentration and awareness at this point. Silva, Spear, and Om. And then direct your gaze, just the gaze to Bhumadhya. And I'm going to ask that you start to chant, not silently, but chant in your own space, the mantra Om. Mantra Om. We're going to do 3 minutes of Om chanting to completely shift and change the vibration. So keep your focus on Agnya. That's your internal focus, your internal gaze. And then from Bhumadhya, send the Om out. You can Be aware of an opening, an O-shaped opening at vidya, sending the vibration of Om out into the universe, into your space. Continuing with your arms. And then letting go after the next arm, letting go after the next arm, and remaining silent, silent in the vibration. And then gently now starting to bring breath awareness and gentle movement back to the physical body, and safely releasing your seated asana and coming to lay in Shavasana with your head towards me if possible. And settling the body. Legs apart, feet splayed out to the sides, arms away from the outside edges of the body, arms to the sky, thumb and forefinger joined. Lengthen the neck and the chin moves naturally down towards the pit of the throat, soft through the back of the head. Feel free if you need to take the full body stretch and resettle. Awareness on the breath. Awareness on the energy activated during pranayama. I'm going to ask that you immediately come back to the arm. So bring your full awareness back to Agni at the top of the spine now. And direct the gaze to Premaloka. And as you start to finalize the settling movements of the body, start to repeat the mantra silently to yourself, Om. Be aware of the frequency, the vibration of Om. Om resonates at the same frequency as the earth. Before the first breath was Om. Energy, vibration. Now look around, cast the gaze around the inside of the Chitakasha and see the softness and the darkness here. If there are shapes and images and thoughts in this place, I'm going to ask that you let them drift from here. Create an empty space. Create an empty space. And then start to create this empty space throughout the entire body. So moving down through from the head space, down through the throat, over the shoulders and arms, and then start to work down until you can see this entire space soft and black, vast and empty. Don't leave any space that is holding on to anything else except for this expanse of velvety darkness. Transfer it through the entire being, just out past the tips of the toes. And from just above the crown of the head. Be aware of this. And then be aware that the skin no longer contains the soft internal energy, and that it forms space all around the physical being, moving out several inches from you. And all you can see is this dark body-shaped mass in the mind's eye. There is no form, no separation. It is just a dark body-shaped mass lying on the mat. And you're aware that it keeps on spreading. You're aware that it keeps on spreading, moving out, shadowy self-light, getting bigger and bigger. Until you become aware that there is no separation, no skin, no form, just vast, expansive energy. And this is all that exists. This is you. You see no form here. You recognize no shapes. In this darkness, you cannot see yourself, but you are infinitely aware of yourself. Remain resting in this awareness of how eternal and expansive your energy is. Don't let thoughts or emotions into this space, shapes and colors. If you explore, just explore the expansive, vast, energetic space that simply contains awareness. No form. And then in the very distance, there is a pinprick of light. It is so small that you're not certain it exists. See this tiny pinprick of light. And then you are aware that it is moving closer to you. So slowly, you're not sure whether it is an illusion or real. But then you're able to make out that it is orange in color. And that as it moves closer to you, it starts to take on form. And you recognize that it is a candle flame. Just one solitary candle flame. And it drips all the way in until it is in the very center of the screen on the inside of the cup. And you are fully focused on this. It is completely still, unmoving. All your awareness and focus is drawn to this one point, just above the wick. And then I'm going to ask that you transfer the flame and watch it move away from this point and travel down through the body into the Hridayakasha and transfer it into the heart space. Put it in the very center, in between the sternum and the spine. Place the candle flame there and leave it here, burning brightly. And then move back up into the Chitakasha and bring your Sankalpa into this space. Bring your Sankalpa into this space. And then letting go of the Sankalpa, deepen your breath and send your breath awareness back towards the body. Sending your breath awareness back towards the body. And bring gentle movement, slowly and gently, back towards the physical body. Becoming aware of your breath and the body. And I'll say, Hari Om Tat Sat Nidra Vidya is now complete. Thank you for joining me today, and I wish you a beautiful weekend. And I may see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock for Yoga Nidra. Hari Om Tat Sat.